We start, please.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
So we go to the formation and existence of subculture. So when we talk about subculture, we're talking about a group within a large culture that has its own norms and values. That is what makes it a subculture. So there's a culture, there's the main culture, but a culture inside that culture, within that culture, is called a subculture. So it has its own norms and values. But it doesn't mean that because it has its own norms and values, it must not conform with the main culture. No, you have to conform because that is the main culture. So non-conformity, if there's non-conformity from a member of a subculture, it is punishable.
So subculture is a non-conformity, that's it.
No, most of the time, based according to Marxists, they feel subculture, they feel subculture is rebellious. That is for Marxists. But for functionalists, they don't see it that way. They see it as being important, especially from the transition of childhood to adolescence. When we get there, you understand more.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about here is that subculture should not bring about non-conformity. That is my point.
Yes.
It's subculture. Yes, you have your practices, you have your ways, you have your norms, your values, but it does not make you to become non-conform. It does not make you to act deviant to the main culture. That is the point I'm making. Okay, so we have different types of subculture. We have youth subculture. So we're starting with youth subcultures. Okay. So for youth subcultures, I wrote this is a subculture. This is a subculture. This is a subculture of young adults that is usually distinguishable by style, dress, and musical preference. So we call it youth subculture based on how they dress, how they look, their musical preference.
Musical.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are what attributed or what the features of youth subculture is about.
Yes.
So for youth subculture, now we have to go to the views of different sociologists about youth subculture. So I'm starting with the functionalist. So functionalist view of subculture. Here, for functionalists, they see it as a transition between childhood to adolescence. As a child, then you become an adult. So that is how functionalists see youth subculture. They feel it is important, it is functional. So for youth subculture, they said youth subculture offer a kind of safety valve, as growing up is a difficult period, but youth subculture can help adolescents manage it. So they feel it's difficult growing up. From the transition between a childhood to become an adult, it's not something that is easy. So with youth subculture, it becomes a safety valve. That means you can be a member of a youth subculture to help you grow.
Yes.
That is what they are trying to say there. So they see it as functioning, that it's helping the society. So youth subculture is functioning in the society as it functions in the life of that individual. Do you get youth subculture there? So again, they said young people need. They said young people need to develop autonomy and independence from their parents. So they turn to the support of their own age group. Because you are growing older, you are going to that stage of adolescence. You're becoming an adult. Mm-hmm. So you might want to develop autonomy, like doing things on your own, having that independence. So this independence will not just come easy. So it means you need to rely on your peer group who have passed that stage you are about to get to help your growth, to develop your own autonomy too. Do you get it? So yes. These are what functionalists are saying. These are their own points of view, that youth subculture is functioning in the society. It's helping the society. Mm-hmm. It's helping the child also. That the child that wants to grow can also rely not on his parents anymore or her parents, can also rely on his age peer group for growth. That is what they are saying there. Is it clear?
Yes.
So again, they said, I summarized them anyway. So yeah, I wrote again, functionalists also use the idea of subculture to explain the high rate of crimes by young boys. So joining the subculture is functional for individuals whose route to success seems to be blocked. So through youth subculture, they may gain recognition and status, allowing them opportunity to succeed. So what we're saying is this. When we talk about crime rates, crime rate is rampant among the youths. Yes or no?
Yeah.
This might be as a result of them not being able to attain educational qualification. So they don't have jobs. If they don't have jobs, they can't get work. They can't get a good paying job.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So because they can't get a good paying job, they are idle. Then they can turn into crime. But with youth subculture, if there's youth subculture, according to functionalists, youth subculture might help them to integrate into the society by giving them status and recognition. So because I have my friends that we are peer group, they are doing well in the society and they have a group. I could be part of the group to help me. So being part of the group, they might be able to help me with a very good job that I could be successful too. Do you get the point?
Yes,
So according to functionalists, they believe youth subculture can reduce the rate of crime in the society, especially from the youth. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So that is functionalist view or perspective or perception or perspective regarding youth subculture. Then let's go to the Marxists. For the Marxists, your friends, they saw it as rebellious by working class youth against capitalism. So for Marxists, they believe youth subculture emerged because they want to rebel against the capitalists, the bourgeois, those that own property. Do you understand? The ruling class.
Ruling class, okay.
Yeah, so they believe with youth subculture, they can rebel against capitalists. That is why youth subculture is being formed, according to capitalists. Do you get? Because it's talking about conflicts.
Yeah, conflict.
Okay, so the young people were reacting against a system that offered them little. So they believe Marxists believe that there's youth subculture because the youth, the younger ones, are reacting against the ruling class who have failed them through the school system. Remember we talked about the school system?
Yeah.
That the ruling class use the school system to fail the working class children. As a result, they cannot find good jobs that would move them up the ladder of the social class. So that's why, according to Marxists, they are rebelling. They become rebellious.
It's like a revenge or something like
Yeah. So they become rebellious to the working to the upper class or the ruling class.
Yeah.
So that is the working class. But what happens to youth subculture of the middle class? You know, the middle class is in between the working class and the ruling class. They are in between. So they are average. They are above average anyway.
Yeah.
So for the youth, they don't act the same way as the working class. Why? Because they believe that if they attain education, qualification, and career, they could climb up the social ladder. They believe they can get to becoming the upper class.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, they don't go into conflict. Rather, they put effort to attain more education qualification so that they can climb up the social ladder. So that's the difference between working class youth subculture and middle class youth subculture. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to other subculture. No, now I go to, well, yeah. So we go to other subculture.